Over here, we're back with more Expected and Expected by Arctic Vulpix and maybe Corona Pax. We are on chapter 59, and if you want to follow along, chapter link will be in the description below for you to check out as always. Now let's get started. Chapter 59, Normal. Is she incapable of staying serious for an extended period of time? Teddy asked while hiding, next to the originals to avoid Ruby's latest invention. She can be serious, Bonnie defended the night guard. She just chooses not to be. Uh-huh. Teddy sounded pretty disbelieving. Why are you standing here anyway? Foxy asked with mild suspicion, glancing between Teddy and Mangold. The other fox rolled her eyes and gave a sarcastic crackle. He wasn't sure how she made a crackle sound sarcastic in all honesty. We're not going out there. Teddy shook his head vehemently as Toby's screams of rage filled the pizzeria again. I wonder if the cleaning staff did something to irritate her, Goldie mused out loud. Oh, they did, Freddie sighed. Last time she was here for the day shift, she got into an argument with a new guy about how she does her job. She said she wasn't allowed to make a mess anymore. They all flinched as they imagined her reaction to someone trying to tell her what to do like that. She didn't retaliate immediately? Chica asked in disbelief. Oh, she did, Freddie grunted. She jammed a toilet seat over his head. I don't know where she got it from, and I don't want to know. Foxy and Bonnie snickered at the image that conjured up in their heads. Well, it does explain why she planned a messy night, Goldie admitted. An explosion rocked the building, and the group could see Edie gritting her teeth in irritation. Do you think Ruby is going to get along with Edie better now? Goldie wondered softly. Bonnie immediately looked away from the mechanic. They were going to have to deal with his phobia at some point. Why? Teddy frowned in confusion. She commented Edie. She doesn't do that for people she doesn't like, Seeker explained. They were interrupted by another explosion. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Freddie shrugged. The other originals nodding in agreement. Teddy exchanged a glance with Mangold. It didn't really look like Ruby liked Edie from their perspective, although they hadn't known the night guard as long as the originals had. Maybe there was something they were missing? I missed this, Ruby pondered, as she raced down the corridor, shotguns in front of a couple of murderous animatronics. Better not say that aloud to anyone. Note to self, visit laser tag place soon to get some of this thrill-seeking out of my system before spring chip arrives and I give the bots a heart attack. She grinned to herself as she darted into the arts and crafts room, neatly skipping over the tripwire by the door. Toby, of course, didn't know about the wire and hid it, sending lovely colors exploding everywhere. I'd say the jelly bombs were a success, wouldn't you, baby blue? Ruby smirked as she barreled into the dazed rabbit at full speed. Both bots went down hard on the multicolored jelly-covered floor. The night guard skipped past them back into the corridor with a happy wave. She had a few rooms left to decorate still. This should teach that jerk, trying to tell her what she could and couldn't do. She's been holding back on her mess making for a while. I've been too nice to the staff. They're kind of spoiled, she mused as she strolled down the hall, leaving jelly footprints behind her. Better remind them what a real mess looks like. Her grin was downright evil as she checked over her latest weapon. It had taken a while before she managed to make the chocolate gun strong enough to stagger an animatronic. Time to test it out. Oh, Clown, she called as she headed to the prize room. Do I have a surprise for you? Megals looked pretty happy when they heard Puppet start screeching. He just looked resigned. Since when have you become vindictive? Foxy asked, amused by Megals' expression. Since Puppet got her pulled apart last? Teddy deadpanned. I think Puppet prefers the night guard by now to spending time alone with Max. They all glanced at a smug-looking Mangold. I really shouldn't have let Max spend so much time with Ruby, he muttered to herself. She's a terrible influence, Foxy grinned. Awful, Bonnie nodded. Fantastic, Goldie laughed at them. Freddie shook his head, but he was smiling. They wouldn't trade her influence for anything in the world after all. At that moment, said terrible influence came charging into the room, laughing manically, like a cartoon villain. Behind him was probably Puppet. It was hard to tell under the chocolate that covered him head to toe. Are those sprinkles? Chica asked as the two ran in circles around the room for a bit. I think so, Goldie nodded. Dark chocolate or regular chocolate? Chocolate, Bonnie wondered. Regular chocolate, Foxy told him. She's got a fondness for dark chocolate and wouldn't waste it on someone like him. They all nodded like that made perfect sense. You're all mad, Teddy finally declared. Probably, Chica admitted. By then, Ruby had trapped Puppet in a caramel trap, sticking him to the wall. It had the side effect of covering most of that wall in sticky substance. Coincidentally, of course. Night guard! Toby darted for her as she reached the room, slipping and sliding over the floor thanks to the jelly still covering him. Ruby absently hit him with another jelly bomb, sending him to the floor and splattering most of the room's occupants and stuff. And sprinkles for you! She dropped a handful on his face. Sprinkles for everyone! She threw a new bomb into the air that sent sprinkles flying to every corner of the room. Everyone groaned. I hate cleaning up, Bonnie groaned at the jelly on his chest. At least it's not chocolate, Foxy pointed out with a sigh as he brushed most of the sprinkles off his head. I can't decide if Ruby or Puppet is worse off, Goldie admitted quietly. They glanced at the night guard, who was doing a victory dance and waving around a menacing-looking modified water gun. She was covered in chocolate and jelly alike, and looked like she'd jumped into a bath of sprinkles. One lock of hair was sticking up from her head, thanks to caramel, and they couldn't actually tell what color her clothes were before this all started. Puppet's worse off, Chica sighed. Ruby just doesn't care. True, Bonnie and Foxy agreed simultaneously. The staff will rue the day they tried to control me, Rue yelled, doing a victory pose. She's definitely been tasting the chocolate, Freddie muttered. Oh, definitely, Foxy nodded. Where's she? Teddy asked cautiously. I don't think we really want to know, Bonnie whispered. They watched the night guard for a moment longer before the bear had to agree. Later the next day, ignoring the glaring and despair-filled looks from the exhausted cleaning staff, Ruby sauntered through the building to the new construction area that was taped off. They were eager to start, obviously. She sipped at her coffee while she watched the workers running back and forth. After a moment of making everyone uncomfortable with her and playing how murdery you look, she moved over to the building planner. Hey there, person who looks like they're in charge of the building project. She greeted the mildly terrified man. She built up a bit of a reputation in the building industry after a certain incident. Due to contractual obligations, she wasn't allowed to speak about it, though. I've got a few security requirements for you to add to your plan. She smiled sweetly at the poor man. They'd be prepared for Springtrap. She might act overconfident, but she wasn't stupid. This wasn't a vengeful ghost kid or a manipulated animatronic that was coming. This was a cold-blooded murderer, who was also permanently possessing a friend of Goldie's. She couldn't allow that. She dragged that spirit kicking and screaming out of that bot forcefully if she had to. And that's the end of chapter 59. We really are I feel like we are getting closer to FNAF 3. And I don't know how many chapters left until we get there, but we're going to get there soon. Hopefully. So, that's the end of chapter 59. If you like this video, leave a like, go leave a review. We're done here. I don't want any comments unless you review, because you gotta show the author some love. They wrote this, go show them love. We're done here. So, bye now, but before you go, be sure to subscribe. Upload new videos every Friday and Saturday. And I'll see you guys next Friday with a new video. Or, I'll see you tomorrow, actually. Sorry. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the final chapter of the Treasure Discovery. Bye!